Teddy swiveled his chair and looked out the window to the sky beyond. Night was edging in. What must it be like? He pondered. He's stuck out there. He thinks he's totally alone and that we all gave up on him. What kind of effect does that have on a man's psychology? He turned back to Venkat. I wonder what he's thinking right now. Log entry, Soul 61. How come Aquaman can control whales? They're mammals. Makes no sense.
Chances are you've already heard of The Martian. This book was originally self-published, online for free, became insanely popular, and was eventually made into a movie starring Matt Damon. This novel is a crash course in botany, chemistry, computer science, physics, astrophysics, and material science. But it works, and I think it works for the general reader, not subject matter experts, not even people who are necessarily interested in science, because it is fast-paced, it is funny, it is charming.
Each crewman had their own laptop, so I have 6 at my disposal. Rather, I had 6. I now have 5. I thought a laptop would be fine outside. It's just electronics, right? It'll keep warm enough to operate in the short term, and it doesn't need air for anything. It died instantly. The screen went black before I was out of the airlock. Turns out the L in LCD stands for liquid. I guess it either froze or boiled off. Maybe I'll post a consumer review. Brought product to the surface of Mars. It stopped working. 0 out of 10.
This book really just has phenomenal pacing throughout. A half page before I thought, I might be getting tired of just potato farming on Mars from this one character's perspective, which, based on what I knew going in, I was a little bit afraid that's pretty much what the whole book was. And like a half page before, I was like, it's getting to be a bit too much. It changes from being the single perspective of the guy stuck on Mars to the NASA folks who find out that he's there, who are going to try and rescue him, to his crewmates who left him behind. And all of these folks, all of these different storylines are just as riveting as the survival on Mars story. What's going to be a turnoff for some readers is that The Martian can be macho in that very nerdy, egotistical way that you might expect from NASA eggheads. But I would hope most readers would forgive it, perhaps for realism, though the sexualization of one particular member of the crew, and there's only 2 female crew members, did get a little cringy, but was thankfully brief. Now, a lot of readers are not going to enjoy the sciencey bits, the technical bits. There are numbers thrown at you quite often, calculations as well. And for somebody like me, who that's my bread and butter, I was into those sections. Obviously, that's not going to be for everybody, but it's super easy to skim past without losing anything. And I think, but you shouldn't really skim past it. You should read it just to enjoy it, because it is written with such a great, humorous and lighthearted tone, and hopeful. I think hope is really the key thing that drives the character, and again lightens that tone of, hey, this is this life and death situation. And I think that's really important, because the book is not just this techie science fun. It is also this really profound celebration of human ingenuity, grit, and intelligence. It's humans being smart, and there's pride in that intelligence. And we should have pride in that intelligence, because that is a beautiful aspect of our species, of being intelligent. And this book celebrates that, and that's awesome. But I think the main reason that The Martian shines is because it has a fallible hero with a clear goal who takes actions to pursue his goal. The author himself writes, I decided that each problem Mark faced had to be a plausible consequence of his situation, or better yet, an unintended consequence of his solution to a previous problem. I also really wanted Mark to be fallible. And he is, and it works. The Martian comes highly recommended.
You know another sci-fi book with a fast pace and a hopeful vibe? My book. You won't find much hard science in it, but I truly believe that if what you enjoyed about The Martian was the characters and the light humor, then you should consider checking out Crew of Exiles.